So my story begins in high school, and this was when I was at a boarding school with the Norbertine Fathers in St. Michael's, and it was there that I really was, by the priest there, was approached as to whether or not I thought I had a vocation. And at the time I was already accepted into college, and as an 18-year-old high schooler, the last thing I wanted to talk about or think about was whether I had a vocation. And then it kind of repeated itself in college, went on silent retreats, and there were times too as well when these priests, even just after a weekend, and going to them for the sacraments, that they would approach me as well and be like, hey, maybe you should look into this. When I was in college, I had the opportunity to really begin to start questioning and being challenged about my faith. And it's this time that I really start falling in love with all the different elements of Catholicism put together, not just the theological elements, but the cultural elements, the traditional elements of it, even the psychological elements of it. And it was actually after doing the Chartres pilgrimage during the summer of 2019 that I really got to see all of this put into action, the theology, the tradition of the church. During this time, there's several priests I'm speaking to that I've never met in my life before on this pilgrimage. And it happened, I think, 3 times where a priest just asked me, like, oh, so who from your family is going to have the vocation? And, they know nothing about me nor my family, but it's just like, okay, well, why am I hearing these words again and again and again? So after that all, I go and speak to a close a priest friend of mine back from where I went to high school, and I go and tell him, and he's like, yeah, I knew this before. I've told your mother that you had a vocation, and he's never told me this. My mom's never told me this. This is maybe 8 years ago that he said this, and at that point I'm like, okay, well, I'd at least have to go forward to discern further. I have to take the next step towards discernment. I'm discerning with the Institute of Christ the King, Sovereign Priest, and what they really focus on is the restoration of the kingdom of Christ. At the center of that kingdom of God is the Mass. So everything is focused on the sacred liturgy and enhancing that. As a result, not only is the Mass very well, do they pay very close attention to the details of the Mass, but all aspects of their life.